Okay, hope everybody's doing fantastic. I'm gonna give it just a minute. I'm checking my phone here. All right, bunch of people jumping on. I haven't done a live in quite a while, but I figured tonight is a good night. Autumn's not done with the video yet, so I have a little bit of time before I have to do the final cut on that and upload it to YouTube. So I figured I would just jump on here for a few minutes. The concrete season is underway. We have a handful of jobs already done and in the books. And it is going really well. You guys are going to see in some upcoming videos. So far, things have been going very well. So it's good to see everybody jumping on. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate that. So just hang out for a little while here. Say hi to all you guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out and hanging on through the winter season until springtime here. And now we get into the good stuff with pouring concrete, which you guys already know is my favorite. So sitting in my office here and yeah, everything's good. Everything is really good right now. So thank you, Lisa. Who got fired? Nobody got fired. So nobody got fired. The full crew. We got everybody. Thank you, Carson and Jeremy. Appreciate that. Shenanigans, Shenanigans. Stickers for my dealership. I like to see on the sticker cabinet. If you go to my website, you can find the address if you want to send me one of your stickers. If you watch the videos, I have that big Matco toolbox. And I said that if you send me a sticker, I'll throw it up on the toolbox there and everybody will get to see it. Obviously, only until the toolbox is full of stickers. So far, I've only got a couple, so not too many people have sent me stickers. But if you want to send me a sticker, your business or whatever, as long as it's clean, obviously, I'm not going to put anything profane up. But if you have a good sticker from your business, promote your business or whatever, I'll throw it up in my toolbox. Thank you, Benny and Destiny. I appreciate that. Australia. Hello, Mr. Easy Money. Sales. How's sales going? Eric Gutierrez asks, is your wife feeling better? A lot of questions here. So my wife is feeling better. She was very, very sick, the sickest I've ever seen her since we've been together, which has been a very long time. But she turned the corner. Actually, the day after she was in the hospital, she felt a lot better the day after, and she's been improving. The next question was sales. Sales is going very well, actually. Jeff, the salesman, has been doing very well. He's pretty aggressive. He's ambitious. He's aggressive. He works hard. I love it. I see that he'll send me text messages like late at night, really early in the morning, which lets me know that he's busy working. You can tell a lot from somebody just from those little signs. Like texting you late at night, hey, I'm working on this. What do you think or whatever? Like I don't mind that. I love that because he's hustling. I gotta put my phones on not silent. I want to put them on do not disturb because they always go kind of crazy when I do lives and they bother me. So yeah, sales is going good. I know I had mentioned in the videos I was concerned, and I was concerned. Earlier in the spring, it was pretty difficult to get the jobs to come in. I was doing a lot of bids with just few people signing up, a lot lower percentage than years past. But the last like 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks, a bunch of work has come in. Some really nice big jobs. This light, why does my face look so shiny? I got a super bright light. Let me turn it. It's looking really weird. It's too bright. Hang on one second. I'll be right back. Is that better? Yeah, that was too bright. I was still kind of glowing. Anyways, sales is going good. So tomorrow is Friday. Yes, tomorrow is my favorite. How did that happen? That's weird. Somebody got around my do not disturb. But anyways, so when's Daryl coming back? I was actually thinking about, I was talking to Eric about it today, that we should bring Daryl Jr. in one of these days. He hasn't been in for a long time. So week went by so fast. It did. We had a busy week. We did a difficult driveway. We did tight access, stoop, steps, road curbs, difficult pitch. So we did that Monday, Tuesday. Yesterday we set up a big driveway, 50-yard driveway, new construction, and then today it rained, so we didn't do anything on the job. But tomorrow we're going to rip out and set up another big driveway. We're busy. We have a lot of jobs. There's going to be a ton of videos coming your guys' way. Definitely no lack of videos or content this year. It is going to be a busy year for us, which is good. You wear makeup? Oh yeah, yeah. That's me. Why would I wear makeup? Put Junior with Taylor for the day. I don't know. I think Taylor would probably go crazy because Junior would have way too many ideas for the shop. Thank you, S. Kata. Said he's a fan. What happened to your eyes? What's wrong with my eyes? My eyes are always ugly. This one? I don't know. My eyes are always red or whatever. I talked about that before. I got ugly eyes. What are you going to do? It's hereditary. Can't change genetics. I spent my day landscaping. Thank you, SS Soundwave. Appreciate that. You got your coffee? I did this morning. My wife usually makes me 1 cup of coffee at night, maybe 3-4 times a week. So I'll have 1 cup in the morning and 1 cup at night sometimes. Did you get a call from New York? I'm not sure. I have Do Not Disturb on. Where does your last name come from? So we have Serbian, my grandpa on my dad's side. So that's where that comes from. Are you going to do any videos with Mike Day? Actually, that is a real possibility, Captain the Cat. I got to talk to him. So my wife and I are planning a trip to Maine in September. And it's only I think 45 minutes away from Mike Day. So my wife is fine with me going and, spending a morning with him or whatever. I already talked to her about it. I haven't talked to him about it, but I'm sure he'd be okay with it. So I'm kind of thinking about maybe doing that on our vacation, spending a little time with him, doing one pour. When is concrete giveaway? The concrete giveaway. I don't have that in the plans. Big Ray's actually on vacation right now. He's been on vacation, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So he'll be back on Monday. Mr. Pat he's doing okay. So he's working part-time again for me. He's driving. So, he's still fighting the fight. And, he's not out of the woods yet. But he's healthy enough right now to work part-time for me. So let's see. What's going on, Canada? Cody, how's it going? Open house anytime soon. If I do an open house this year, it's going to be in probably later on in the summer. We still have a long way to go, but we are making some really good progress. You guys will see in the upcoming videos. We've made some progress. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to ruin the videos. So we are getting pretty close, I think. I think I've said that before, though, and we weren't actually close. Ryan Jr., he's doing good. My wife is doing good. Thanks for asking again. Ryan Jr. is, he's in seminary, so he studies all the time and reads and writes papers and all that. He's very busy, and he's going to be traveling again this summer, but he'll be around a little bit. In about 2 weeks, he's going to start, and he has a few dude, whenever you adjust your cap, it's a tell. What does that mean? It's a tell. What am I telling? I don't understand. Adjust your cap. It looks crooked to me. That's why I keep adjusting it. As I'm looking, it's like it looks crooked. I don't know. That's why I keep adjusting it. Is it straight? I can't tell. Anyways, I'm going to leave it alone. So how's the CEO? He is doing good. I don't know about Mr. Bobby. I haven't talked to him in a long time. Where's the slurry? So the slurry is in the ground. So some of you will know what that means. Some of you might not. But for you that knows what it means, it's a good thing that the slurry is in the ground and the hole is filled. So there you go. Gym equipment status. Gym equipment is on order. So I made the decision just to go ahead and order it. So basically, what happened? I think I mentioned this in a video, but the tariffs there was a big increase, 25% increase. Was it 25%? I don't remember. I said it in a video, but anyways, they were tacking on a huge tariff price, and then I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do it. Like, let's wait a little bit. And even my salesman was like, why don't you wait a little bit? And then he called me back about a week later, and he's like, we're gonna take away the increase. He's like, do you want to order? And then I said yes, and I just ordered it. So it's all on order. Everything's done. They're putting the stuff together, and they're gonna ship it here. I told them as soon as you can get it here, get it here. So it's paid for, 100% paid for, and it is on the way. So praying for healing for Pat. Thank you. I'm sure he appreciates that. Um, I'm sure he appreciates that. So again, he's not out of the woods and he's still fighting, but he's healthy enough right now to work part time. Uh, Somebody's asking about shipping to the UK, the merchandise. I still don't do it. Um, I've had a couple companies that wanted my business. They basically wanted to take over the merch sales and the merch site and all that kind of stuff. But both of them had sent me samples. I said, well, send me samples because I don't want to try to sell. I'm not going to sell junk. If your embroidery is not really good and clean, if you don't sell nice thick hoodies, stuff that fits decent, I'm not interested. So both the companies sent me samples and they both sent me absolute garbage. I mean, the embroidery looked like it was horrible. I mean, it just terrible. I like my embroidery crisp and nice. The guy that I have do it locally is really good. My sweatshirts, the silk screen or whatever, the printing, it's super bold. And the stuff they send you, the t-shirts are like transparent. They barely use any ink on the screen print. I don't know. It's just junk. So we're going to continue just doing it in-house for now. I cannot ship to Kenya. I'm sorry. Get Bunker Branding in Texas to do your merch. I know people have said that. So Bunker Branding, um, what's his name? Matt, what's his name? Matt, he used to own it. He doesn't own it anymore. That was his business. He just what's his come on, somebody say it. Matt, Franny, how's it going, man? Mark. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. Matt Carricker, thank you very much. Demolition Ranch. So that was his business, and they set it up where you have to have 1 million subscribers to do business. They won't do business with you unless you have 1 million subscribers, and I'm not there yet, so they wouldn't do business with me. Did Tino pop the new guy? So AC Heating, it was not Tino. Tino and Taylor did not get in a fight. It had nothing to do um, with any. Taylor didn't fight any of my employees. He did get in a fight, obviously. He got beat up, but it wasn't by any of my guys. So he got beat up bad too, really bad. So Scott, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Roman Atwood owns it now. Bunker Branding, yeah. So I think Roman Atwood bought it from Matt. That was my understanding. I remember seeing a video a long time ago where Matt was like selling it, or I don't know, they were partners, or I don't remember, to Roman Atwood. What is your tattoo? Tattoo is of a Rottweiler on my right arm. It's the only tattoo I have. Got it when I was 18. It's just stupid. Me and a friend were, you know, doing stuff we shouldn't do. And then we were like, oh, let's go get a tattoo, man. Oh, yeah. So that's what we did. We went and got a tattoo, each of us. Ryan says, Ryan, read my comment. Get bulk gas tanks at the yard to pump gas. I think you mean fuel. Yeah, so we use, mainly diesel fuel. And I was just talking to Eric about that today because the excavator has a fuel trailer. And I don't know how many gallons it is. It looks like it's pretty big. It's got to be 300 to 500 gallons, maybe. Yeah, it looks like it's about 300 to 500 gallons, if I had to guess. And that really seems like it would be ideal to have a tank like that. You could get off-road diesel, go pick it up in the trailer, park it at the yard. And if it was I don't know, even 300 gallons, that would get us by for quite a while with the off-road diesel. I thought that was a great idea. He's got a really nice trailer. Ryan, can you give us the pow? Like he didn't do anything wrong yet. When is the destroyer going to make an appearance? I don't think that's going to happen, Richard. So it was, I read some of the comments, and I remember when that happened. When I got rid of him, and people were like, "Oh, Ryan just did that. It's all faked, and he'll be back, and he's just doing it for the views." I'm like, it's just so stupid. Like I have time to mess around like that. Come on. So where is he? I didn't get no apologies from other people that said that. Easy E Concrete dominates over Victory. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh man, so many comments. Pingus, thank you very much. Help E with the shed. I think he's working on that, or he said he was going to work on that. We were hanging out together today. We did some. Today was a rain day, so some of the guys didn't work at all. I had Carlito, Francisco, Eric, and Taylor come in. Taylor was in the shop, and I had to run errands. I basically had all the guys running errands, moving around equipment, and then we ended up pouring the last two samples for kind of the outdoor display or whatever for potential customers to come and choose their colors and their stamp patterns at the yard. So that is all poured. It's not done. I still have to color it and seal it and all that, but it's all poured and done as far as that's concerned. So that feels good. Thank you, the unit. Are you and the destroyer still friends? Yeah, I still consider him a friend. I mean, I don't talk to him. I just know like bad blood or anything, but I don't really have any reason to talk to him. Hello from Western New York. I'm a teacher's aide and the class watches your videos during free periods. That's pretty funny. That's cool. So I wonder how old your class is. What grade? That would be interesting to know. Taylor needs to start the rental business. Yeah, so that was kind of part of people have been suggesting that, but I had already, thought to do that. Talked to Taylor about that a while back. So he really would be perfect because I have that equipment there. It's it's not paid off, so I have big payments on the equipment. It's just sitting in my yard the majority of the time, not making any money at all. So that was kind of what we talked about too, is starting the rental business, actually getting it off the ground. And Taylor will be around to check stuff out and bring stuff back in, do the maintenance, make sure everything's full of fuel, make sure that the renters didn't break anything. And I've been talking to a guy that he sells the software to rental businesses, and it's all set up. It's really nice software. It's all categorized. It's made for that type of business, and it does all the back end stuff with tax payments and taxes and schedules and all that stuff, keeping track of everything. So I'm gonna pursue it. It's just hard, I got a lot of stuff going on, and we're busy right now. We have a lot of work coming in, and there's a lot of jobs that need to get done soon. Do you get a tax write-off for hiring non-whites? No, no, I don't get a tax write-off for hiring non-whites. Scott, thank you very much. Whip City Jerky t-shirt. Thank you very much. He said he's going to send me some of his beef jerky. That would be awesome. I love beef jerky. Trade the New Hollands for some new Bobcats. That's because you work at Bobcat. I've actually kind of grown to really like the New Hollands. They're very comfortable, and I like them. They're only 74 horsepower, so there's no DEF, which is nice, but they're very slightly underpowered. I will say that they take it right to where they can. 74 horsepower. Anything over that, you got to have DEF. But it doesn't really bother me, but I can tell that it has especially when you're turning in like really sticky, gooey clay with the tracks. Brand new tracks especially, it has a hard time. It really bogs the motor down. Any renters leasing the new building? So I can't lease yet because I don't have occupancy, even though I'm getting close. But one of the units, I have a guy that's really interested, somebody that I know, and he wants to get in there as soon as possible. So once I get occupancy, which I'm hoping, I've been hoping for a long time, but I'm hoping by the end of May. I think we have everything we need and we're really close, but we'll see. But yeah, I have one renter lined up, and the big unit I don't. Ever think you will get in one of the Crown Vic races with Cletus? Probably not. Probably not. So I'm not like a racing channel, and to be honest, I would be pretty nervous racing with those guys. Those are all car guys, they're all drag racers and like car guys. And I would have no idea what I'm doing out there. I don't know how to race. The speed probably would scare me. I would probably be I would be a nervous wreck in a race with all those guys, thinking that I would probably smash into one of them, wreck their race, and they would all hate me forever. So I'll probably not be in any of Cletus's races, the Crown Vic races, or any of the races he does. Why foot over joystick control? David asks. So he's talking about skid loaders. You can get joystick controls or hand and foot traditional controls. I just prefer the hand and foot. It's what I grew up on. It's what I've used my whole career. There's nothing wrong with joystick controls. It's just a preference. That's all. Rye guy, how's it going? The Chi-Town concrete finisher. Bass in the pond? No, not yet. Put twin turbos on the skid steers. That really wouldn't help anything. Shelby anytime soon? Definitely not. So I've said on the channel that I made a big investment last couple of years in the land, especially in the building. So this year I'm really focused on getting a lot of work done and crawling out of, my financial situation, which it's not bad, I took a big risk what I did. And I spent a whole lot of money in the last couple of years, and it takes time to crawl back out of that. You don't just pay everything off like poof. I have that kind of money, but I'm working on it this year, and I like to pay everything way, way down. So why do idiots post Easy E dominates victory? I don't know. Bunker branding is 500,000 subs. Well, they must have changed it because it was 1 million subs. So I'm 100% positive of that. And they were probably eliminating so many people. They realized that they probably needed to drop the number. I'm sure why they did it. Junior Style coming back. Not that I know of. He's going to be traveling this year on a ministry team. They sing. It's an ensemble. They sing all across the country. So he'll be traveling. But he'll be back for a few weeks working with me. So actually, you'll see him pretty soon. How do I start my own concrete business for vlogs? Well, I definitely wouldn't start a concrete business just to make vlogs. That would be a big mistake. So start a concrete business, make that successful first, know what you're doing, and then you can start vlogging if you'd like. Starting something just for the purpose of making videos about it. I guess it could be interesting. It would probably be, I don't think it would work too well. You really need to gain respect from people. If you're going to put videos of yourself doing a trade, if you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to humiliate yourself. You're going to look like a fool. You're going to lose all respect. It's probably not going to end well for you. I would learn the trade first, really get good at it, gain the respect of people in the industry, and then you can start to vlog and show people what you know, showcase your work. And then, once you have that established, you can make it entertaining and people already know when you know what you're doing. So you can kind of get away with that like I do. We joke around, we have a good time, we goof around, we laugh, and bottom line is we still put out some really, really nice concrete work. So high quality work. And that's what you need at the end of it all is good work. Mr. Handpay retire? No, Mr. Handpay did not retire. I don't know what you're talking about. So I haven't talked to him for a couple weeks, 3 weeks maybe. But I talk to him on a regular basis. He lives right by me. We're friends. We've been friends for several years. I'm not sure why you said that though. No, he just posted 2 videos yesterday, day before that, day. He's posting videos every single day. So I'm not sure what you mean by that. Why did Eric come back? I guess maybe we'll do a live together. If he wants to talk about it, he can. If he doesn't, he doesn't have to. He wanted to come back. We had some serious discussions about it. And, I set some conditions and he proved himself throughout the winter. I gave him stuff to do. He actually did it. He showed initiative. And he really wanted to come back. And he proved that he really wanted to come back by doing some of the things I asked him to do. And, I like Eric. I always have. And he likes working for me. He made some mistakes last year. But I'm giving him another chance. And that was my decision. And so far, at least, things are going good. So hat giveaway. Um, I don't really have any hats to give away. I don't know if you guys have looked. I don't ever mention like the merch store. Some channels, like the guys are like big merch pimps. Like that's all they every single video. Oh, go check out my merch and blah blah. Got a new drop coming and this and that. And then a lot of guys do the giveaways. So they pimp their merch through giveaways. So they get people to buy the merch, and it's all they ever talk about. It's like constant merch, merch, merch. But I have never pushed my merch at all. So it's there, victorstyle.com. I mean, I've mentioned it a few times, but I don't know. I don't want to overwhelm my daughter either. My daughter ships the stuff, and we put the stuff in our. We have a garden shed outside, and she works out of it. So start talking about it too much and sell too much, she gets overwhelmed. So I don't use like merchandise as a primary source of income. Like I make a little bit of money here and there. I mean, so we'll sell a few things here and there, a couple hoodies here, hat there. Like I don't make money off of it. I don't really care. I have it because people want it. A lot of people ask for it and they want to buy this stuff, so I make it available. But like I said, I'm not going to pimp it out all the time. Turn into a weird pimp merch kind of guy. Merch pimp, sorry. Post out the concrete order, trying to do my own dryer. Can you post out the concrete order? Um, so if you're gonna order concrete, if you're like a do-it-yourselfer, just call your local supply company and say, "Hey, I'm a homeowner. This is what I'm doing," and they'll guide you into ordering the right concrete for your specific application. So just call because every part of the country is a little different. Our concrete's different up here in the north where we have a freezing climate than you would need to use down in Florida or a southern climate where it doesn't really freeze, where you get to freeze thaw. So just call your concrete supplier, talk to them. They're going to be your local experts that are going to guide you in that. Oh, high school. There you go. In reference to your question, high school grades 9 through 12. Some of them go to um, Boches. I don't know what that means and are in construction. Okay. It's been a class ritual for 2 years now. So earlier on in this live stream, um, this is a teacher, and she said that sometimes the kids will actually watch my videos. That's pretty awesome. Baptist family, we love your videos. Thank you very much. She's talking about they're talking about when Daryl dropped the Salter. That was like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. How much sleep do you get? So honestly, I probably get about 5. I guess if I fall asleep, I probably get like 5.5 hours a night. It's not terrible. 5.5, 6 hours a night. And then in the wintertime, I'll get more. Summertime, we're really busy. I got to wake up early every day. It's part of the deal. And I like waking up early. I never have had any trouble getting up super early in the morning. I get up, I'm ready to go. I'm not tired. I don't want to hit the snooze button. I always get up before my alarm even. I set my alarm every single day on my phone, and I get up every single day before the alarm ever goes off. So yeah, 5.5 hours, more in the wintertime. Did little Ray get his victory gear yet? No, but it's on my phone. It's in my notes. He's getting his victory gear sooner than later for sure. Which moment was funnier, Ray dumping in the bushes or Daryl's teeth flying out? I don't know. That was about equal. I laughed so hard when Ray dumped the concrete in the bushes. So I think I'd have to go with Ray on that one. Just got merch and love it, and one American flag hat, a victory hat. So thank you, Scott, for ordering the merchandise. I appreciate that. So they're working on a brand new hat for me, and I haven't seen it yet. I told them I got to see it before I sell it. So they're making me a new hat. It's basically like a blacked out hat. When's the next video? Tomorrow morning. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 3 videos a week. I have plenty of videos now. There's no lack of videos. We're working all the time now, making videos of everything. So there's going to be at least 3 videos a week all summer long. Probably going to put a fourth, video here and there, like little bonus videos. The more work we do, the more videos I'll have, and we're going to do a lot of work this year. What year is the F-350? It is a 2000. Is it a 2000 or 2001? I think it's a 2000. What's the website for your merch? It is victorystyle.com. And just to warn you, I haven't done a reorder for a long time. Most of the stuff is sold out. I just haven't been able to do a reorder. Reorders are super expensive. It's like $20,000 to $25,000 when I do a reorder. And right now, this time of year, I'm at my lowest point financially, and I just can't drop $25,000 right now. I'm hoping to do a reorder sooner than later, but I need to get more of these big jobs finished up and get some money back in the bank and get things rolling again. Early in the spring right now it's the toughest time of year for and or seasonal contractors. Let's see. Sell me your Mustang. No, I'm not broke. I just can't spend $25,000 on merchandise right now. That's all. Tyler's doing a great job. Well, his name is Taylor, but everybody is calling him Tyler. So, but his name is Taylor. I can't stop Carlito and Francisco and Eric. Everybody is just calling him Tyler. So I might just rename him Tyler for the sake of the channel. I don't know. We'll see. Will Daryl Jr. be on this year? I'm sure he will. I just need to call him and bring him in on a day that is going to work out, like a setup day. It's not necessarily good when we're pouring, when we're super busy, um, because he can't really do a whole lot to help anymore. So when we're setting up, I'm more laid back. I'm not super, super busy. So that I can like spend a little time with him, talk to him and stuff. But when we're pouring, like I'm go, go, go all day long. Why is Tino always late? Tino is always late, but he's always like 1 minute late or 2 minutes late. It's really not that bad. Thank you, Colton. Appreciate that. Australia, Mark Reynolds from Australia. How's it going? AC Heating. First video I saw a couple years ago was Daryl changing oil in the Ford pickup. Oh yeah, that was at MacGyver's, the old winter shop. Can you adopt me? Probably not. Did they dig up the road for your sewer and water? The slurry's in the ground. The slurry is in the ground. I'll just put it that way. Matthew, how can we send you stuff? So my address is on my website. So if you look, you'll find it. I don't have a P.O. box necessarily. So, but if you send me something, please don't expect a shout out. I don't do a whole lot of shout outs anymore because I said this in a video too, but I was doing the shout outs every video in the morning, before I went to work. And it started to I started to get so much stuff because everywhere when I get a shout out, and then, practically speaking, I was just running out of room. My whole office was filled with boxes and I wasn't even getting around to all the stuff. And then I felt bad because people were sending me stuff. I wasn't doing shout outs. And then I guess it just kind of hit me like the reason that people are sending me so much stuff is because I keep doing the shout outs. So I really throttled that back and I rarely do shout outs anymore. And it actually works because I don't get that much stuff anymore. If you want to send something, you can, but I can't promise that you're going to get a shout out. So I think the last one was that trowel that I got from Epic Woodworks, I think it was called. And that was just because it was something that was so unique. And he put a lot of time and effort into it. I had to. So Duncan said, what's the price for a yard of concrete up there right now? About $180. So I don't know. He's from Texas. I don't know how much you guys are paying. Probably similar, I would guess. But I think I'm at about $180. We call it flowable fill in Illinois. Yep, Scott, flowable fill. We call it slurry up here. Let's see. You are so loved by Jesus. Well, I appreciate that. Somebody gave me $100, and that is really awesome. I really appreciate that. You guys don't have to give anything, but a lot of people do, and I do appreciate it. It's always humbling because I know you guys know that I don't need your money. I think you guys know that, but you guys give anyway, and it just shows that you're generous people. So I appreciate that. So F-150 update, Kevin asks. So the F-150 is, all the engine work and all that stuff is done. And it's going in to get, going in next week to get a new wrap. So I have a brand new design. Taylor, he detailed it for me today. It's going to get a new wrap. After the new wrap, I'll show you guys obviously in a video. But the truck is done. So I told my wife last year, there's not any possibility of me getting a new truck for myself. It would just be a stupid move. So I'm going to fix up the F-150, put some performance stuff in it, and getting a new wrap, and got a bunch of new stuff in it. So it's really going to be a really nice truck again, and I'm going to, keep the truck around for a while. So what I really need is to replace the tandem eventually. That is the next big ticket item kind of coming. It's broken right now again. Um, so that's been frustrating. You guys will see that on a video coming up, but it's broken still. It's been broken for a long time. Like 6 weeks I've been waiting to get it fixed, and it's still not fixed. So what was the cause why the F-150 broke down? So you're talking about when it broke down in Illinois when we were on our way to Ohio. It was I think it was one of those things. It was kind of like intermittent, difficult electrical issue. So Nate, not Nate, who looked at that? Oh, my guy Ryan, he looked at it, the mechanic, and he thinks it had to do with there's an electronic fuel booster because I had a performance kit with new turbos, new intercooler, and a new tune, and it had an electronic fuel booster basically, and it had something to do with that. What is the year of the form truck? I think it's a 2003, the form truck. How many days behind are your videos? Well, last week I made like 6 videos last week. So I'm trying to build up a little bit of a, backlog. So right now I think I have 2.5 weeks of videos. So they're about 2.5 weeks behind. So there's some stuff that I know that you guys don't know. So how do you like the new UTV? I guess the little cart. The little cart's pretty cool, man. It runs good. It's old, it's scratched. It runs good though, and it's awesome because you jump in it, you're all dirty, you throw dirty stuff in the back. It doesn't matter. I don't care. So in that way, I like it. It's just like my fishing boat. My fishing boat is kind of beat up, so I don't care if it gets scratched. I don't care if it gets dirty. I don't care if I clean it out. You just go there and enjoy it. Just like the little cart. Same difference. Scott, thank you very much. Keep up the videos. Keep the F-350 going. The 7.3 liters are the best diesel engine. I agree. And it's actually better now because I had a tuner installed. So I think I have it on like 50 horsepower boost. I think it's like a tow tune basically. Nothing crazy, but it runs good. And that made a big difference in that because those old trucks, they're slow dogs. They're very detuned. So the tuner made a big difference. They got a new tuner with a new exhaust system, and it made a big difference in the acceleration. It just doesn't feel so doggish anymore. Jonathan says, when you replace the tandem, please don't get a new truck with emissions. I'm not going to get a new truck. So if you're talking about a brand new quad axle, the price of new quad axles are so ridiculous. You're talking like $300,000 to $350,000 for a brand new quad axle. It's not even in the realm of possibility for most anybody. Even truckers, man. If you buy a truck that's $350,000, your payments are high. I mean, you have to work that truck just to make your payments. That's a lot of pressure for these guys. I remember when I was younger, $150,000, it was half the price, and now they're $300,000 to $350,000. And if you do work like I do, you need like a AR 500 box, a hard ox box, so you don't smash it all up with the concrete, and that adds to the price as well. Podcast with Best Mom. That's actually an interesting idea. So I could bring my mom for a live stream. She would probably enjoy it. So I think she would enjoy that. She would be nervous, but she would enjoy it. Bruce, I did not get full occupancy yet, but as far as I know, we have everything we need, and I'm not going to spoil everything, but we've made some pretty good progress, and I think we're getting pretty close. I am hoping in May sometime, towards the end of May, if everything else goes smoothly, I think we'll be in there by May. So I mentioned my wife earlier, but Edgar asked how she's doing. She's doing a lot better now. She's doing well. Who hit the new guy? So I can't tell you, but it wasn't one of my employees. It wasn't my guys that were fighting. He got in a fight with somebody you guys don't know, and he got whipped pretty good. Um, but it was not Tino. Everybody says Tino beat him up. It was not Tino. If it was Tino, then Tino would not be around anymore, and Tino's still with me. So your guys can't get violent with each other on the job site. Somebody has to get fired. Like I would be obligated to fire somebody if my guys got physical with each other, because if I didn't do that and it got physical again and one guy hurt the other guy, then I would be responsible for that. So if your guys get physical and beat each other up, like at least one of the guys has to go, like no questions asked. They have to go. Otherwise, I could get in trouble if something else worse happens. Mr. Tomichi, that would be me. That lady was funny. I was in Las Vegas. True HR level issues. It's true. I think about all kinds of stuff. Owning a business, you got to think about stuff like that. What's the average price of a concrete driveway? Um, concrete driveways, people ask me that. They vary in size here from small to super huge. There's not really an average. I guess my best guess would be average $15,000. That would be somewhere between small and medium sized driveway. 15,000. Our prices have gone up so dramatically. I raised my prices again this year, and then I wasn't getting so much work, so I was thinking about raising or lowering the prices to get work. But then work started coming in, so I never did end up lowering my prices. I held firm on the pricing. The work's coming in, and we're good. So I would say 15,000, maybe even up to 20,000. I would say average. Scott says yes. Yes, tuning helped the 7.3 due to high. My buddy found out it needs work done. So tuning worked great on the 7.3. Just an electronic tuner. All right. The tariffs aren't helping. Yeah, the tariffs just had people unsure, so they were kind of holding on to their money. But I think that fear is still there. It's not gone, but I think it's subsided just a little bit right now. So when are the jet skis coming out? Oh, it's been not even close to warm enough to take jet skis out around here. Yesterday morning was like 35 degrees. So I'm sure the water temperature is super cold still. It's going to be a while, probably in June. Can you do a video of your upbringing? Hear how you talk about recovery, and I find it very interesting. I think you got me confused with somebody else. I was never, I mean, I did drugs when I was younger, just about like every high school and college kid. I mean, I think pretty much everybody did some drugs or whatever, the average person in high school or college. And I was just like everybody else, but I was never like heavily addicted. I was never an alcoholic. I never considered myself in a position that I needed recovery or anything like that. So you might have me confused with somebody else. You should go through Bunker Branding. They start at 500,000 subs. So I think we talked about that just a little bit ago. Have you ever driven a Tesla? I have never been in a Tesla. Nothing against them, just not practical where I live. The amount of driving that we do, I don't even like cars, to be honest. Like I'm not a car guy, and the Cybertruck is super ugly. I would never buy a Cybertruck, and plus, it's just having to plug it in. It's just not practical. I prefer diesel trucks over a Cybertruck for sure. Have you ever thought about going to EAA Oshkosh? So I've thought about it many times. It's just I think it's in August. It's in a really busy time of year for us, so it's hard to make it. Can I goose hunt your pond? Yeah, no, there's no hunting where my shop is located. Ryan's hippie days. Ryan was never a hippie. I was born in 1977, so I was like a baby during the hippie days. I wasn't even a baby. It was pre my era. Thank you, Danny boy. Appreciate that. Wrap the new cart. I don't think so. I think the easy money sticker is good enough. Repainting the T320. I think I'm probably going to sell the T320 instead of repaint it. How do you find the balance of life and work? That's a tough question. If you're gonna go into business, there's gonna be a period of time, and it's not gonna be a short period of time. It's gonna be a long period of time where you're just gonna have to sacrifice other stuff in your life. It's just part of the deal. If you think you're gonna start a business and be successful and still have all the time you want for your family and your wife and spend with your kids and blah blah blah, and watch movies and go do this and that, and it's that's not reality. If you're going to start a business and actually be successful, like you have to pour yourself into it, which is an incredible amount of time and effort, and it takes years to get to the point where I feel now that I do spend time with my family. But to get to where I am now, it took a very, very long time and a lot of work. So people ask me that, well, I'm working really hard to try to start a business, and I can't spend enough time with my well. You're just gonna have to figure it out. You're just gonna have to figure it out. Maybe you just have to take a longer period of time to grow your business, spend a little less time on the business, and be happy that you can, you know, find success over 5 years instead of over 3 years or whatever. You just have to decide that for yourself. Everybody's situation is different. If you're single, it's a lot easier because you can really pour yourself into it. If you're married and have kids, it's very difficult. It's just the way that it is. My custom joiner that I built, it's okay. It's okay. It's not great. It's not all I thought it was going to be. Um, but I have some changes in mind that I'd like to try. I'll just leave it at that because I don't know where it's going. Would you ever do a documentary style series on employees? No, I wouldn't do that. I'm not good at that style of video, like a documentary, like talking seriously about facts and people's upbringings and where they came from. Like I wouldn't be good at that. I would be horrible at that actually. New wrap for the Crown Vic shop car. We talked about that again today. I'm just not sure. Would you run a second crew with, say, Tino running it? And you? No, absolutely not. Nope. No. I mean, I love my guys. We have a really solid crew, but I don't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable leaving any of my guys in charge to run jobs, especially the size jobs that we do. Mm-mm. I would definitely not feel comfortable doing that. You did a great job with the April Fool's video. You can definitely do it. Well, that's different. That's goofing around. That's having fun. That's what I always do. The April Fool's video was like a fun, it was a creative thing. I think I'm somewhat creative, so I had fun with that. That's different. A documentary where you're actually like serious, and that was, I pretended to be serious, but it was a joke. So I just don't think I could do like a documentary style. I could do something. I could do something sad. I think I would be good at that, but I don't think anybody would enjoy that. Like sad, emotional, that I could do. Would you ever sell the crew? Will you ever sell the crew hoodies? I don't know what that means. I give the crew their hoodies. It's kind of like part of our uniform. They all get hoodies. Little Ray doesn't have any yet because I just haven't had time to go to storage. What's the most yardage you have poured in a day? Uh, I don't really know how to answer that question. I've, you know, I don't know how to answer that question. I'm not sure. Like on a driveway, probably 120 maybe. Some big driveways when we had a bigger crew. But guys pour commercial floors. They'll pour 500 yards or 1,000 yards like it's nothing. They're pouring 8 inches thick with laser screeds and riders. I mean, it's all relative to what you're doing. You can pour. Let's see somebody pour 1,000 yards of stamped sidewalk. It's apples and oranges. So it's not really about yardage necessarily. It's about difficulty because everything's different when it comes to concrete. So Scott says the April Fool's joke got me to the end. I see people trying to go big too fast. Yes. Uh, yeah, I mean, it could have been, it's, that happens all the time where guys try to do too much too fast, and it doesn't work out for them because it gets stressful and it gets crazy. Just when you think you have everything figured out, I think you have, this business, and, you have people and places and managers and this and that. All of a sudden you have a guy that has so much responsibility that you've hired, and all of a sudden he quits. and then the guy under him quits, and then you have nothing again. Then you're like, that's happened to me before in years past. You have like everybody in place, and like things seem to be going so well, and then like three people quit on you in the same week, and then you're back to square one. Just when you thought you had everything figured out and things were going so smooth, and then all of a sudden they're not. So it's just not easy, but it's fun. It's interesting. Do a driveway fix giveaway. DNR update. DNR, yeah, DNR update. I think you're asking about the open records request that I filed like a while ago. I got an email today. That's funny that you mentioned that because I got a new email today. So this is the government that you're talking about. And when they want something from you, they want it like right away. You got to get them what they ask for immediately. But when you ask them for something, um, they just take their time. So I had filed an open records request a long time ago, and there was a lady working on it. And I got a new email today at 10:32 a.m. and it says, "I have been reassigned to coordinate your public records request for the following records." So the pronouns are she, her, and hers. So that's good to know. Glad you put that in your email. But apparently they like whoever was working on it is not working on it anymore, and there's somebody new. So it's government runs very slowly. So who knows when I'll get that information. Would you want to be the Chick-fil-A of concrete? No, no. There actually is. I actually work with a guy with a company in Georgia, and it was a franchise, which I thought was interesting. It's the only franchise I've ever heard of that did residential concrete work. So I thought that was really interesting. I don't know how it worked out for them. After I poured concrete with them in Georgia, I never talked to them ever again um, because the guys that asked me to come, they invited me. I went there and I poured with them. I made a video, and then I got an email back from them like, "Oh, the bosses found out and they don't want the video on YouTube." And basically, I told them, "Too bad, I'm putting the video on YouTube." So I had to do a little bit of editing. But that was a franchise, and I highly doubt that that would work out. Concrete work is not. It's just not that easy. It's not something that you can put specific systems in place and have all the people read it. It's just there's so many variables when it comes to concrete work, so many different job site conditions and customer expectations, and concrete is it's an art, so it's not always perfect. There's always some imperfections. You have different people with different expectations, and I just don't think it could ever work for a resident. Plus I don't know that the profit margin is high enough where I just don't think it would work out. So there's a guy, a landscaper, Mike Andes, Augusta Lawn Care, and he's pulled it off in lawn care. So I always thought that was pretty interesting, but he's been successful apparently. He's franchised basically not mowing, like lawn mowing. They don't even do projects. So it is interesting though. I've watched. He makes videos about like saving businesses that are on the brink of collapse, and a lot of the businesses are his franchises, which I always thought was kind of interesting. That so many of his franchises are in financial trouble, and I think the reason for that is it's just a difficult business when you're just strictly mowing lawns. The profit margin is narrow, and you have to rely on workers to get this stuff done and actually mow lawns quickly. With workers, a lot of times they'll not get things done very efficiently, or they'll mess up and make it. I don't know. He pulled it off though. He does it. Interesting. You have soft hands for not getting into commercial work. I guess. I mean, if you want to have that opinion, you can. But I do really well with residential work. I've done very well for a long time. I've been in business for over 25 years now. So if you want to say I have soft hands for not getting into commercial work, you can say that if you want. But I guess I put your business against mine. Show me your tax returns. See that you're actually doing better than me. Prove it. You can't just say stuff like that. So I could say something like the commercial guys they don't care about quality. They're hacks. That's what residential guys would say to commercial guys most of the time. You guys are hacks. You don't care about quality. You guys can get away with just about everything. We can't get away with it. We have to, do nicer work than you guys and blah blah. So commercial guys and residential guys fight all the time, and it's because of stupid comments like that. So the nice thing is I know a lot of guys that do commercial that are great guys too. So there's that. Victory Roofing, Francisco is the boss. Not a chance. Not a chance. Give me a shout out, please. Sure. Jackson, there's your shout out. I don't know where you're from, but I know your name is Jackson. How do you quote a job? So jobs are generalized, and I emphasize that word by square footage price. So you start out with a job, say it's a super easy new construction driveway. There's nothing difficult. There's no hills. There's no obstructions. It's already kind of semi graded, sort of has gravel near where the height's going to be. There's a square footage price for that. So let's say it's $10 a square foot. So big driveway, it's $10 a square foot. So then you have to start adding on if there's a big hill, if they want crisscross, if they want picture frame, if they want, um, if it's just a hard job where you're going to have difficult getting the water out, you have to have a flow line. So basically, you add on top of your square footage price. Stoops and steps, you can't go by square footage at all. It just doesn't really work out. You got to take into consideration like access, how you're going to get, are you going to be able to get machinery into a patio or a sidewalk area? Is it surrounded by fences and houses? It's going to be difficult to bowl flow, cut joints, broom. There's so many variables, but you always start out with a general square footage price for new construction, and then removal and replacement. If it's a patio, you'll have a price. If it's a walk, you'll have a price. If it's a driveway, you'll have a price. Each one is different. Obviously, a sidewalk square footage price is much higher than a driveway because it's a lot of lineal feet of form work for very little, square footage. So there's a lot of factors that you have to consider when you bid a job. But it's not, I make it sound harder than it is. It's not that hard, but it takes some experience and practice. You got to know, you have to understand what it takes to get the job done to be able to bid it right. How much of a pain it really is to get in there. And I guess with, my new salesman, Jeff, I'll explain it to him. This is going to be a pain. And he's a smart guy. Like he just catches on right away. He understands it's going to be a nightmare or whatever. And he'll bid the job. And he always shows me the jobs in his bids before he sends them to the people, and pictures. So I can make sure that, it's a job that's going to be profitable and worthwhile. Annoyance fee. Yeah, that's a good one. There are some people that I'll go to bid a job and I don't want to work for these people. If you've been in business, you'll go do a bid and they'll ask questions, and you just know that they're going to be a headache. So a lot of times I won't even offer them a bid. I'll tell them I'm going to email, and I just don't email it, or I'll send it and I just don't send it, or I'll jack the price way up so they don't accept it. That's just business. You can say you don't do that, but you probably do that. If you don't do that, you've been burned before. So have you ever thought about doing something else for a living? That's a good question. So I was pretty near becoming a police officer like in 2001 when I was much younger, had only been in business for a few years, and I had considered it, but never followed through for various reasons. Will you be doing more of your parking lot every year? Yes. Easy E Concrete will buy Victory soon. That I doubt. Take Tino fishing. That would probably be pretty fun. Will you ever hire Bugs again? Probably not. He's working, and I think he's probably really near retirement. He's getting up there, so I don't think so. How much does YouTube pay you? Uh, I won't get into specifics necessarily, but YouTube can do really well for you. But the sponsored videos do really well. The sponsored videos they're really a big help to me. I know some of you guys have a problem with them. You don't like me doing them, whatever. But I would be an idiot to pass it up. I mean, these are really big companies, and they have a lot of money, and they pay a good amount of money for each one of those ads. It's very 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 helpful. So, and I actually have. Um, have ads lined up for this entire year. I'm booked all the way until 2025 with the ads. So mostly I had 4 in March. I think I had 3 in April, and I think I have 3 in May, and then I have like 2 per month, 2 per month, 2 per month. I might have one more month with 3. So like 2 or 3 a month basically. But I do 3 videos per week. So I don't feel like I do too many, but I would have to be stupid to pass them up, to be honest. And honestly, I think you guys are used to them now. So I mean, in the beginning, people were like complaining about it, but I don't think many people care anymore. Is the water on the building yet? Um, I don't know. You'll have to watch the videos to find out. So, Mr. Bear says, I'd rather the content creator get sponsored videos rather than beg for subs or donations. Yeah, that's one thing I don't do. You guys never say, uh, smash the like button and subscribe, drop a comment down below. Like, I don't think I've ever said that. That's just like, I don't think one person has ever subscribed to a YouTube channel because the person with the channel has said, hit the subscribe button. Like, I think people are more likely to not subscribe if you're telling them to subscribe. I just have always said from the beginning, if people want to subscribe, they'll subscribe. If they don't want to, they won't. Who cares? Subscribers don't really make any difference anyway, to be honest. It's all about how many people watch your videos, not how many subscribers that you have. You can have a lot of subscribers and very few views. There's a lot of channels like that. Let's see. How often do you go to the gym? I was going to the gym a lot all winter long. Now that we're working and gotten really busy, not so much. So, not much lately. Is the destroyer coming back? No, he's not. What is your favorite meal your wife cooks for dinner? Jonathan, I would say I like the lasagna. I like lasagna a lot. New rental property numbers. The numbers, so each building that I'm able to put up, it'll produce about $100,000 a year net. So each building will be $100,000 approximately. But obviously, I'm only going to have half a building to begin with. If I'm ever able even to put up an additional building, that's what it would produce. The live stream is easy money. There was one live stream, it was with Eric. I don't make a lot on the live streams. I don't make for money and I don't do live streams for money. I barely ever do live streams. I feel like I should, pop on here once in a while just to hang out with you guys because you guys have been a huge help to me and have grown the channel and have hung out all winter, even though the content's not as good in the winter as it is in the summer. You guys still hang around. I really appreciate that. So figured I'd hang out with you guys. But there was a live stream I did with Eric. I don't remember, but it was several $1,000s. I think it was like 5 or 6. It was the biggest live stream like financially that I've ever done by a lot, like by a ton. And I don't know why. Just people were like really giving. And like we started writing down the donations and Eric was like writing them down. And I think that was like encouraging people to give more. And like people were just giving like crazy that night. It was like $5 or $6,000 in one night. And me and Eric we were blown away. We were laughing. That was crazy. So, but I don't do live streams often, and that was like a once ever. I don't know how much, on average. What is your ethnicity? So I'm all mixed up. Once you get to my generation, we're kind of like mutts. So Serbian, um, uh, German, I forget even. Shane is going through a rough time. When my pops had some health issues, I need to take over the family business. Anyways, man, your videos keep me sane. Well, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for watching. How much should a good laborer make hourly? So I don't know. I mean, obviously, regionally, that's going to depend. Um, but I don't really have any laborers necessarily. But I think like a laborer probably make in the neighborhood of like $25 an hour. I would say for a labor, somewhere around there. How much was the bill cost? How much was the building? I don't want to get into how much the building was and the land and all that. It was very expensive, obviously. How big was the biggest deer you ever shot? This right here was like the only big deer that I've ever shot, and that was with a bow. It's 150 inches. To answer your question, that was right here in Waukesha. Oh wow! Some of the comments I definitely can't read them publicly. Hey, it's Uncle Bill. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. $10 for Lindsay, doing a great job with the merch. Yeah. So Lindsay's my daughter. She's in school, um, and she just goes to the merch shed once in a while and ships out the orders. I don't ice fish. It's not my thing. It's pretty boring. Do you speak with the destroyer? I haven't talked to him for a couple months, I would say. Where can we buy merch? So it's victorystyle.com, but I don't even know what's left on there. Basically, the shelves are pretty empty. It's pretty much sold out. There's still some stuff on there. I'm not telling you not to go there because there is some stuff, but I just haven't done a reorder because finances have been tight. And like I said earlier, it's like $25,000 to do a reorder, which I have to pay up front. So kind of waiting on that till we get some more big jobs finished up. And we have gotten some big jobs finished up. You guys will see in the videos. It's going good. Like we're pouring some concrete now finally. Feels really good. How do you determine how much accelerator to order in the mix? Let me get back to that, but let me give Scott D a shout out. Your videos keep me going and keep me happy. I do like 70 hours a week at least. Man, it's a lot of hours. That's tough, especially if that's like a long term thing. So, oh, all right. I don't remember what I just said before that. I'm sorry, my mind just got off track. I was going to answer one question, and I got sidetracked. Sorry about that. What happened to Rick Thomas on YouTube? Um, if I had to guess, I would say he's just really busy. You know, doing one job after people think it's easy to make. It's not easy to make videos. I literally about killed myself the first year when I jumped onto YouTube and I was making like 4 or 5 videos a week. I was working all day long and I was working on videos. I edited all my videos the first year plus, I think 2 years, maybe year and a half, something like that. I worked all day and all night to make it successful. And it's not easy to do. And it doesn't work for most people, it doesn't work out. Like there's not really much of a benefit to doing it, especially in the beginning. So you're like killing yourself, working all day and all night, making videos, videoing everything, worrying about your camera and your batteries and your tripod and blah, blah, blah. And then you're posting up videos and you're getting so many views and you're not really making any money. There doesn't seem to be any benefit to it. So if I had to guess, it's probably because he's just really busy. He makes good money. His business does really well. He doesn't need to do it, and he probably doesn't see the benefit of doing it. So it's not easy to make it on social media. If you make it, there's huge benefits. Financially, it can be a huge blessing. It's obviously opened a lot of doors to me, but there's not a lot of guys like me in the construction industry that have actually made it on social media because it's very difficult. I just hit it at the right time. I was, in a certain sense, lucky with the timing, and things just worked out for me. I worked super, super hard, like I said, and it worked out for me. So now I get sponsored videos, and those are lucrative. I'm with DeWalt. That's lucrative. That's been an awesome relationship. So it's opened a lot of doors. I have some cool stuff coming this year that you guys will find out about. I have some tools coming down the line. It's been a huge benefit to me, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. It's stressful too. So that's what I would say. That was kind of a long answer talking about Rick Thomas initially, but that's really the answer. I don't think Marcelo will return. No, Taylor didn't get a black eye from Tool. He got a black eye from a person, but it wasn't one of my employees. You guys don't even know who it is. I know who it is, but I don't know them like personally. All year round, and I have tomorrow off, but still got to go for an interview. I'm not the owner, but the right hand man. All right, Scott. Well, good luck with everything. Need a pillow for that answer. Yeah, no kidding, right? Once you get started talking about something, sometimes you just don't want to stop. Where's your gym stuff? I mentioned this earlier, Todd, but I ended up ordering everything. Everything is paid for. It's ordered, so I told them to bring it as soon as they're ready. They're going to bring it. So it is, the transaction is complete. Now it's just a waiting game when it gets delivered. I was holding off for a long time because financially it was difficult, and then the tariffs added. I forgot what it was, but it was a lot of money. So I held off, but he took the tariffs away. He called me back a week later. He said, "We'll do it, no tariffs." And I was like, "All right, let's just order it." So 25%. Yeah, it was 25%, which was crazy. Updates on the DNR. I mentioned that earlier in the live stream already. Taylor got in a fight. Yes. Somebody said I should set up a batch plant on the land. It that would be a Yeah, there's enough land to do it, but I don't think you understand what it takes to get something to pass through the city and get, the approval for that. I have approval for what I have planned in the future, which is just more buildings, and we're sticking with that. If I try to vary from that, I got to start over basically, and I just don't have it in me anymore to try to get more stuff passed through the city and the DNR and all that. Like I'm done with all that. This has been a headache for me, and once I get occupancy, I'm just going to work on paying off the debt and like just enjoy it for like a good long while before I even think about putting another building up. But the good news is, if I ever do, the water and the sewer is already in the location of the next building. And really, all it is putting a slab up and the building structure itself. So it's way easier the second time around because there's no water management, there's no storm sewer, there's no retention pond or any of that kind of stuff to worry about. It's just the building, which is the easy part. What does the CEO want to do when he grows up? I don't really think he has a plan, but I'll tell you that kid has a lot of potential. He's a smart kid. He's a very observant. He's always thinking. He's trying to figure out stuff by watching you do it. Um, he watches my videos, so he does learn a lot just from watching the videos. It's funny, how much he knows just from that. But he has a lot of potential. He's a smart little kid. Daniel, the CEO. How do you keep going even when you're tired? So I guess, if you're an employee and depending on your situation in life, maybe you're single and you're just an employee. Um, for you, there is the option of just quitting. People say, "How do you keep going even when you're tired, even when it's hard, even when you're stressed?" There's so many problems. Like you're just feeling the weight of all the pressure. Like, how do you keep going? So when you're single, like, you have the option. You can just quit your job. You can just quit what you're doing because you don't have the responsibility of a wife and children. You're not supporting people. You don't have employees that you're responsible for. Um, Honestly, like, I have a wife, you have kids, you have so many responsibilities. It's how do you keep going? There's no other choice. So you have to keep going. Like, what do you can't quit. Like, your whole world would crumble if you quit. So quitting is not an option. It's not even in your mind. It's not in the back of your mind. You can't stop. So how do you keep going? Well, you never even consider that there's a choice of not keeping going. So it's easy to keep going. You have to keep going. We have to get it done because we don't have a choice. And that's why you keep going. Like, how do you stay motivated? Well, that is your motivation. You can't stop. You have to just get up every day. Plus, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the pressure of it. I enjoy the struggles of it, the trial. Like, I love beating all of that stuff back. All the pressure and the stress and the problems with the customers and the guys and the equipment breaking down and the job's not going right. I just like, navigating through all that. And then at the end of the, day or week or year or whatever, you look back and you're like, I whipped all that stuff. I got through all that. We won. We were winners. We didn't lose. So that's what I enjoy about it. It's like it's accomplishing something every day and being successful in the end. Water. Where is the helicopter? Yeah, right. Flagpole when? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. The flagpole is ready to go in. I didn't talk to the city about it yet. I want to get that water in the sewer and the storm sewer and occupancy. I'm not really worried about the flagpole. It's ready though. It's ready to go. Just show up and get her done. That's exactly right. You just show up and you get it done. That's what you have to do. Quitting is not really an option, even if you are single, unless daddy pays for all of your bills. It's not really true. It is an option because if you're just an employee, you can quit for one company. You can take a week. Most guys will take a break. They can handle the pressure of their job, so they quit. And then when they quit, they take their time looking for another job. They take a little break. They just need a little break. So quitting is an option if you're single. So, depending on how many bills you have and stuff. Generally, it's not that many. It's not that many when you're single. So guys just kind of jump around and they take breaks. And a lot of guys just never get anywhere in life because they live that lifestyle. They work for a company for a little while. It's just too much headache. They don't like waking up early, and then they quit, and then they take a break, and they're looking for the next job, and then they're looking for another job, and like their whole. I've watched this happen over and over and over again. I'm like, man, just get your act together. Like, do something with your life. It frustrates me because you know that certain people have potential. They could do really good. They could be very successful, but they make stupid decisions over and over and over. And you just watch this for years and years and years. And you're like, dude, you're just never gonna get it. Check this out. I got a ladybug. Ooh, right there. Pow. That's an actual ladybug too. I don't know what those other bugs are. They kind of look like ladybugs, but they'll bite you. Those little things, I hate those things. I don't know what they're called. Asian beetles, I think. But this is an actual ladybug. So we're gonna let her live. She can stay on my desk. Come on, get off my finger for as long as she wants. Love from the 802's Hangout. I don't know what that is, but are the fireflies are not out yet. It's been cold here. We'll see. Eat the ladybug. I don't think so. Jonathan, I'm not going to eat the ladybug. They probably taste bad. Why do you use mesh over rebar on the majority of your jobs? So I use wire mesh on most of my jobs just because it's what I've always used. I've been very successful with it. I've never had a structural failure in any of my concrete that I've had to go back and replace. Everybody gets cracks. All my cracks have been like shrinkage cracks. I've never had a failure. So mesh is easy. We have a trailer. We have the sheets, 8x16 sheets. Guys grab them, boom, put them down in the driveway, and we pull it up as we pour. So with rebar, you have to handle the rebar, place the rebar, tie the rebar. A lot of guys chair the rebar. The mesh is just easier for us, and it's worked well for me. There's really no reason for me to stop using the mesh and go to rebar. And sometimes I use rebar. It just depends on the situation. Stoops and steps and stuff. Obviously, we use rebar. Borders, we use rebar. Footings or whatever. Like grade beams around a garage or whatever. Let's see. What is the purpose of the retention pond? I should probably answer that question. So these colors don't quit. Thank you, the amateur. An employee quits when they don't see growth potential. You need to run more crews and give them the opportunity to run a crew with more pay. Employees quit for various reasons, but my employees particularly have a lot of opportunity in life. So I don't know if you've noticed, but if you look up on YouTube what my guys have done, as far as views go, I guess like the 4 or 5 biggest channels in the world right now, as far as views on long form, it would be me, Francisco or Eric, and then vice versa. Mike from AMW Services, even Ryan Jr. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but that's like they're the biggest channels in the world as far as views go. So my guys have a lot of opportunity working for me. JB says, well, they want to run crews. Not everybody wants to run a crew. Let me tell you that most guys do not want anything to do with the responsibility of running a crew. Most guys cannot handle it. They can't handle the pressure of the responsibility. And they just do not want to be held accountable for mistakes. They don't have the they're not people. They're not good with people. They don't know how to talk to people, smooth things over. Most guys don't want anything to do with it. So I was talking to a business owner. It's a big business. This guy is loaded. He's got a big business. We're friends. And we were talking this winter, and he said that in his company, there's lots of opportunities for growth, all the way to like top management making tons of money. So he said his problem is nobody ever wants a promotion. They just want to stay where they're at. They're happy with whatever responsibility they have. They don't want any more. They just want to put in, the hours, just enough hours to kind of get by and go home and be happy. And that's it. He said there was one guy that came up to him and he was like really ambitious. And he's like, I want to be your top guy. And my friend was blown away. He's like, nobody ever says that to me anymore. He said back in the day, he's older. He's had this business for a long time. He said back in the day, guys would fight because they all wanted promotions. They all wanted to like one up each other and like get to the top and climb the ladder. He said nobody's like that anymore. They all just want to stay. So whenever anybody wants a promotion or actually wants to be a manager, he said that there's all the opportunity in the world, but nobody wants it. So things have changed quite a bit. Let's see. Where's the farthest you do concrete work? So we just do southeastern Wisconsin. I'm based in Milwaukee. I'm in Waukesha, Wisconsin, but I say Milwaukee. We're right on the border of Milwaukee, literally right on the border. Most people recognize Milwaukee, and we don't go very far at all. We're just right here in southeastern Wisconsin. There's a lot of money around here in Waukesha County. There's tons of houses, big population center. There's so much work here. There's no reason to go more than like 20 miles, away from your home base. So we don't travel really at all. Let's see. People do want promotions nowadays. Why would people want to stay in the same spot? Well, it's all the reasons. Obviously, I'm not talking. I'm generalizing, and that was from my friend who owns a large company. That's what he said. He just he mentioned that a lot of people just don't want the responsibility. They want free time. They want to go home and watch movies. They don't want to work a bunch of overtime and live at work. So yeah, a lot of people don't want promotions, and that's just a fact. They don't want it. People want promotions. They want more money, but they don't want to work more. So let's get that straight. Everybody always wants more money. They think they're worth more money, but they don't want more responsibility. They just think they should get a raise because they exist at the workplace. Like, no, it's not really how it works. Work is a circus. It does seem like that sometimes. Is there a lot of clay in your area? There is a lot of clay in our area. Obviously, it varies from town to town. We have some towns near Lake Michigan that are very sandy. Some places in Waukesha are very rocky, and there's a lot of clay too. Make more videos. I am making more videos this year. I'm at a job where a promotion means a pay cut. Well, probably you don't want that promotion then. Let's see, diesel mechanic with 10 years experience in the garbage industry. Would you hire me? Not right now. So I have all the guys that I need. I talked to my wife about this, but more guys have asked me to work here this year than ever before. Recently, like in the last 2 months, I've had a ton of people asking me if they can get a job here, and I have all the guys that I need right now. So I'm not really looking for anybody else. What was your favorite job? I'm not sure. I don't think I can answer that right now. Everybody wants a promotion, but nobody wants to work to get there. I think they think it should be handed to them. There's a lot of that attitude. And look, I'm not trying to be negative because there's still obviously tons of like super hardworking people, hustlers, a lot of people like that still. It's not like the whole every single person is it's not, it's not like everybody has changed, but there has definitely been a shift in just the way that people think and like everything is owed to them. So I don't know why that is, but that's kind of just a cultural shift in the United States anyway. Uh, you're a good boss, but you will have to promote and fire until you find employees like Carlitos who take pride in their work ethic. You will need to step away at some point. I'm not going to step away at some point. So I will work in my business until I want to retire, and then I'm going to retire. So I'm in a position where in my business it's I'm 25 years in the business now. So I'm at a position where I'm going to work hopefully until I'm in my mid to late 50s, and then I'll be able to retire. Um, Without even selling my business, without having somebody take over my business and running it for me. I don't want to be in that position. I think I'll be fine just retiring, and I'll have this property and I'll be able to do rentals and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be in good shape. So I don't need somebody to take it over for me. And I do think it's interesting though, like people's perspective on the employees. Because everybody has a different perspective. I mean, somebody earlier said I should put Tino in charge and like let him run a crew. Nothing against Tino, but that would be a disaster. I'm just telling you. So, but everybody has a different perspective. Some people are like, "Oh, Carlitos is the best." Some people say he's terrible, and Eric or Francisco, and they should do this and they should do that. But I think everybody just enjoys what they do. I think everybody's doing a great job. I love all the guys pretty much equally, and this year especially, we're getting along. I mean, we're fighting all the time, but we're getting the jobs done and we're working together well. We always fight. It's funny, but we don't get like serious about it. We just like yell a little bit at each other. Most, not me especially, but the guys back and forth, kind of bicker all the time. That's normal. But we're doing a good job. We're getting some jobs done. The quality's there, so it's good. Best mom meals for 2025. Yes, definitely. So last week was the first Best Mom Monday. You guys will see that in the video. And she's coming tomorrow, and she said she's making a meal that's going to put all of her past meals to shame. She said it is a fantastic meal, so we're looking forward to that tomorrow as well. Everybody breaks stuff. You can't keep nothing nice. That's just part of the deal. Why does crisscross broom incur an upcharge? You are brooming either way. Crisscross broom is an upcharge, definitely an upcharge. So when you crisscross broom, your finishers actually have to broom from the inside. Normally, I'll broom everything from the outside. The finishers jump on a slab and they'll just crawl down the slab. That's all they have to concentrate on is, magging the concrete out, finishing the joints. But when we do crisscross, you know, every other square has to be broomed towards the finishers. You can't broom from the outside. So you have to hand the broom back and forth and back and forth. They have to stop what they're doing, broom the square, stop what they're doing, broom the square. So it does take more time. So it's going to be an upcharge, definitely. So it's 2,500 cash. It's not a big deal. Most of these people around here have money. So I'm just kidding. It's not that much, but I do upcharge just a little bit. Would you do a podcast? I'm asked to do podcasts all the time. I just don't want to do podcasts. I just think they're really boring. I don't know. I just think podcasts just aren't that interesting. I don't think I'm that interesting of a person. And most podcasters aren't very interesting. So if you get me with one of them, you're in for a snooze fest. So, I mean, even these lives, I just like to hang out with you guys every once in a while, just to hang out. It's not that these lives are like giving away all this great information, and there's some podcasters that are really interesting to listen to because they have some area where they just don't think like other people, and it's like you listen to them, you're like, wow, that's really cool. They have all this knowledge. Most people don't have that. Most people just have general life knowledge, and we all kind of have that. So certain podcasts are interesting for that reason. Like Elon Musk, yeah, of course, the guy thinks like nobody else, so he's super interesting to listen to hear his perspective. But most people think they have an interesting perspective, but not really. So everybody has a podcast now. They think they're really special, but they're not. Yes, I do have my CDL. I've had my CDL for a long time. I think I got my CDL when I was like 22, something like that. Was I clicking my pen? I think I was clicking my pen or something. Sorry. I didn't even realize I was doing that. Oh, the accelerator in the mix. I think that was a question somebody asked, and then I got sidetracked. So, how much accelerator I put in the mix? It's really dependent on the temperature outside. If the sun is out, if it's cloudy, if it's windy, it just depends. In the middle of summer when it's super hot, you don't add accelerator because you don't want the concrete to set up too fast. But if it's 50 degrees and it's overcast like it was today, we poured concrete and I put 3% NCA in because it was a super small pour to begin with, and the ground was cool. It was wet. It rained last night, so you just all you take all that stuff into consideration. How many guys that you have, how much concrete you're pouring, how long it's going to take to get on the ground. How long is the power buggy have to go to dump where it needs to dump. So you just take all of those things into consideration, even how far the concrete's going to travel before it gets to you, if you're really close to the plant or really far away from the plant. So it's when it's there's not like a formulation, there's not like an accelerator calculator where you punch in these variables and it spits out what you're supposed to use. You're just taking a very educated guess, basically, based off of your past experience. And you do the best you can. Most of the time, it's fine. Sometimes you put too much in and you're struggling. Most of the time you put a little, you should have put a little bit more because you're sitting around. So there's a real balance there. Tyler did not get jumped in a gang. He did not. He did get beat up, but he didn't get jumped. How do you feel about Eric starting his own business? That's that's not new. That's been going on for years now. So I've already talked about that. I'm fine with that, but there's a line where, if you're taking too much time away from working for me, it becomes a problem. If you're taking too much time off and I really need you, obviously there's a point where, you have to just think about going on your own. But Eric's dedicated to working for me this year. He's going to be doing some of his own jobs, of course, but we did stuff we talked about this winter. So, do you take your boat out on Lake Michigan? I do not. Lake Michigan scares me a little bit. My boat's only 21 foot, and Lake Michigan, it can get pretty violent pretty quick if there's a storm, wind. The waves get pretty bad, and I just don't want to take the risk. When I take my boat out, I want to just enjoy the weather and enjoy time with my family. I don't want to be thinking about if a storm's coming and we might die and sink. So I'm losing my voice. I can't talk for this long. I'm just not good at it. My voice just goes away. What is the point of the retention pond? I was going to get to that question too, and I got sidetracked. So the retention pond, the DNR, they have all the regulations, how water gets how you catch water on your own land, all the runoff. You have to catch all the runoff from your land and you have to get it all into a retention pond. So on the property, you're going to have storm sewers that are going to be scattered all over the parking lot so all the water from your property drains in to the storm sewers, and the storm sewer all pipes into the retention pond. So they want all the water from your property to stay on your property, go into retention pond, and then it's metered out at a certain rate. So, when the retention pond gets up to a certain level, it'll slowly let the water out, and then it goes off and it drains off into a lower area, a predetermined lower area, and basically it meters the water on your own property. And smart engineers figure all that out, how many gallons and how big the pond has to be and how they meter it and all that, but that's just part of the DNR, the regulations. It never used to be like that. If you go up and down my block, there's no retention ponds. Like I think I have one of two on my entire block. It's a newer thing, but that's what they do because too much runoff can cause issues around here. They end up pumping raw sewage into Lake Michigan if there's too much. So that's kind of or partially treated sewage into Lake Michigan. So that's kind of how that works. That's why it's like that. It's a requirement. You can't develop land around here without a retention pond. They just don't allow it. Underground retention systems are better. No. If I'm going to have a pond, if If I'm gonna have to designate an area for a pond, I'm gonna have the water above ground. I'm gonna enjoy it. So it's pretty cool, honestly, to have your own pond, to have the you guys have seen the ducks and the geese coming in. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna put a couple fountains in there. You're gonna have the sound of the water. It's kind of cool to have the retention pond. Obviously, it was super expensive, huge headache, a big hassle, but in the end, it is kind of cool. You have to admit. So I'm gonna have a couple fountains, with lights, different color lights. You can switch the lights. Be pretty cool. And skating in the winter. There is a video tomorrow. This isn't in lieu of a video tomorrow. That's not why I'm doing a live. So I was just waiting for Autumn. She might even be done. I don't know. I have this on Do Not Disturb. She might have texted me already. We'll see. I was just waiting for her to finish the video so I can start working on that. No, she didn't text me yet. But she probably is done. What time is it? 7:30? I like to get started on the video by like 8 o'clock at the latest because then I'm done by like 10:30 or so, all uploaded and everything, and then I can kind of relax for the night after that. Remote control boats for the pond. Yeah, I do. That would be pretty cool, actually. Taylor rocks. I'm pretty impressed with Taylor so far. He's more capable than I thought he was. I am allowed to put fish in the pond, but the pond has to kind of mature. It's just, it's a clay bottom right now. It's completely bare. So I think you need some vegetation. When you have fish, I don't think they would survive in a completely bare pond. I'm not sure, but I think we need some vegetation in there first. What's the most weight you ever lifted? If you're asking me how much a bench press, um, never super strong, like 355, I think was my biggest bench press. I was never great at bench press. I'm actually fairly strong. My shoulders are fairly strong. My bench press was never great. Some people think 355 is a lot of weight, but I'm a pretty big guy and it's not really impressive. It's okay. I'm not a super strong guy. Just because you like to work out and you spend time in a gym, it doesn't mean that you're super strong or anything like that. I'm kind of like probably above average strength, yeah, but like as far as guys that go to the gym and stuff, I'm pretty average. Nothing special. I just like being at the gym. I like working out. That's all. And there's a lot of people that lie about how strong they are too. So I'm not one of those people. I'll just tell you I'm not super strong. I mean, I'm strong, but not like a power lifter strong, not even close. 325 is high school weight, says Matthew A, who can't even bench the bar. Right, Matthew? Can the pool pond get a shout out? Oh yeah, Franny the Fisher. He's got a swimming pool and he filled it with fish. Like let it grow wild and has vegetation in it. It's pretty funny actually. How much do you weigh if you think 355 isn't impressive for your weight? I'm like two right now. I'm like 290, so I put like 5 pounds back on since I got down to 285, and now I'm back up to like 290. So 355 is okay. How is Victory Business in 2025? I think we're going to have a great year. So big jobs are coming in. We're busy. I have all the equipment. I have a good crew. I have a place. Everything's set, man. I think we're going to have a good year. 155 is about average in America. Yeah, that's average, but that's guys that don't even lift weights. Jet ski in the pond. Be hard to get the jet ski in the pond. Everything is sloped down to the pond. You'd have to do something to get it down there. I'm gonna let you guys go in just a minute. How long have been? Has that been an hour and 38 minutes? Wow, that is a long time. 7:35. I gotta go say goodnight to my kids in a few minutes, so I'm gonna let you guys go in just a minute. Any big ideas for the crew this summer? Not really. I think we're pretty much just gonna focus on getting jobs done this year for the most part. We'll probably do something fun. I'm just not sure yet. If we do something big, it's going to be the open house at the building if that all works out. That's not easy to pull off. That's a lot of planning. But I still would love to do that later on in the summer once everything's all cleaned up and done. Ryan, why do you vote Dem? Definitely not. If you actually think that, you don't know me at all. Big 4th of July. I am going to do a big 4th of July like I did last year, but I'm probably not going to show it. I'm probably just going to keep it for my family. I'm probably going to invite some friends and family and maybe even my guys this time because it's like it was so cool. It was so impressive. I it impressed. I even impressed myself. The fireworks was so awesome. I never done anything like that before, but it was fun, and I think I need to just bring some more people to enjoy that. But I probably won't show that publicly this year. Plant some crops. Bunch of questions that I can't answer. I've never had a hole in one. I used to golf a lot. I golfed all through high school on a team, and then I golfed on a league after that. So I was pretty good at golf. I was a five handicap. I was pretty competitive. I played in a bunch of tournaments and all that. I love golf, man. I still do. If I ever get a chance, if I ever get more time in the future, I'm definitely gonna pick golf back up. It's awesome, super fun. If you've never golfed, you think it's boring. You're like, "What are you doing? That looks so stupid." And it does look stupid. Once you try it, it's very addicting. Golf is super addicting. It's so much fun. And I don't even really know how to explain why it's that much fun. It just is. If you've never done it, you have to at least try it. Then once you try it, you get addicted. Then you want to get better. You want to get better, and you want to get better, and you buy better clubs, and then you like, you watch a whole bunch of videos, and you try different stuff, and you're at the range all the time, and it's just the addiction is getting better. I think that's what it is. And then you start to get good. You start to hit good shots, and you're like, man, I'm getting good at this, and then it's fun. Once you get pretty decent, it's fun. But then when you get too good, like where I was, a five handicap, you're like right there. So then it gets frustrating because when you don't have like a good day, when you hit some bad shots, you get frustrated and you want to break the club over your knee. It's weird. It's weird. You can't golf, Ryan. I was a five handicap. So, Jeremy, I doubt you were ever a five handicap. Not many people are. It's not great, but I was in high school. I was a senior in high school. I was number one varsity as a freshman in high school. The way I got really good at golf is when I was young, I lived right across the street from a public golf course. And every summer, all the time, I would take my clubs. The fence was right there. I would throw my clubs right over the fence. I would jump the fence. And I think it was the third hole. I would, during the week, during the day, it wasn't packed. So I would jump right on. There'd be gaps in between. And I would jump in there and I would play golf all day long by myself. 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old. I'd be jumping the fence every day I go golf. So by the time I got to high school, I was actually number one varsity as a freshman. So that's how I got good at golf, jumping on a golf course and playing for free all the time when I was young. How's the DeWalt contract? It is really good. DeWalt's been a great partner. They've been great to work with. I have nothing bad to say about them at all. So they send tools. They've just been good. Whatever I need, they're always there for me too. What's your favorite sport? I like a lot of sports. I just don't have time to really pay attention to them at this point in my life. Can you do a video on what you did to your truck? I will. I will. As soon as I get it back, which should be in like 2 weeks, I will do a video about it. I text you on your work phone number. Well, crafty. I don't appreciate that, but I don't really read. If anybody texts my work phone, I'm never going to see that. I don't read text messages that are to the business line. And honestly, if you leave a message from out of state, I don't listen to your message either. I don't have time. I get so many messages on my business line, and it's a business line, So I'm trying to get leads in. I'm trying to pass those leads on to Jeff and trying to get sales, and I'm working on my business. I really don't have a lot of time to listen to messages that people leave me on the business line from out of state. So if I see it's from out of state, I'm sorry. Big admission, but I didn't read your text message or listen to your voicemail, so I apologize. You can write me emails. I do read those, but the business line is not the place for saying hello or whatever, or asking questions about whatever you have going on in your life. Milwaukee reached out to me once, but it was already after I got a deal with DeWalt. So nothing ever happened with them. Do I watch UFC fights? I used to. Now I'll watch clips of them. So I just don't have. I just don't have much time for that. So I do watch clips. I kind of follow along a little bit. So can't do both. No, you can't do DeWalt and Milwaukee both. They're direct competitors. That would be like you promoting Pepsi and Coca-Cola. So that's not, realistic. Favorite WWE wrestler. So that's something that I never got into. I never got into the wrestling. So when I was a kid, we watched it. That was way back in the day. That was like Hulk Hogan and like Macho Man Randy Savage and Junkyard Dog and those guys. That was so long ago. That was when I was a kid. What do you do with your free time? I don't have a lot of free time, to be honest. I don't have much free time. So, you ever do out of state jobs? No. New videos going up tomorrow morning, just like every Friday. What happened to the second channel? Funny you asked that, because the video that I made today, since it was a rain day, did like a vlog basically. I'm going to put today's video on the second channel. That won't be for a few weeks. So I'll still use the second channel every once in a while. It's just hard, because you can only make so many videos. You're only doing so much stuff that's interesting. So people are like, well, make more videos. Well, you're only like living one life, and there's only so much in your life that's worth posting on a video. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not into making like just lame videos. I see videos of guys just like driving around their truck and talking. Like I don't want to watch that. I don't feel like too many people want to watch that. Just somebody talking all the time. Like do something, show us something. Don't just drive around and talk about this and that, especially if you're not that interesting. Like you got to actually do something. So I'm not gonna. I'll never do that. Just drive around and talk. Like that's just boring. You make great videos and have a great production now. Thank you. I appreciate that. What keeps you motivated, and are the tariffs affecting the business? So never had a problem being motivated, and the tariffs seem like they were going to affect sales, although the last like 3 weeks sales have been strong. So things are looking pretty good. Why did you sell your landscaping business? Henry asked. So that was several years ago. That was to Mike. And I just didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't really have time for it. I wanted to concentrate more on the concrete aspect of the business. So I dropped the landscape part of it. I just didn't really want to do it anymore. It was kind of boring to me. Mowing lawn is okay. It pays the bills. I had some pretty nice commercial contracts, but man, mowing lawn, you know, shout out to you guys that do it every day, year after year after year. But it just wasn't for me. It was really fun for a while. I enjoyed it a lot for a while, but we were mowing the same property for like 100 times in a row over the years. You're like, okay, let's do something else. So that's why I decided to sell it. I just didn't enjoy it anymore. Crafty Impala, thank you very much. 16 years old. Appreciate you following along. What's your favorite type of animal to hunt? Definitely white-tailed deer. Definitely. You should paint the inside of your house with some bright colors. I don't feel like painting. We did enough painting in the shop in the winter for me. I had my fill for a while. No more painting. Do you wish you did more commercial work? No, I really don't. I'm really happy with what we do. I like the residential work. I just enjoy it. Every job is like really custom, it's different customers all the time. What I don't like is going back to the same place over and over and over again. Like for instance, when my building was put up, it was the same carpenters. They were there from the beginning to the end. So they were there day after week after month after month after month. And I'm like, man, I would not enjoy going back to the same job site for months or even weeks. I just like the variety. I like moving fast, one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. It keeps it exciting. It keeps it interesting. And that's really why I like residential work. Plus, there's something to be said about, you get to meet your customer, they have expectations, and then you do like a really awesome job and they just love you. They love the work that you did. They're satisfied. And that in itself, when I see that, that gives me satisfaction. So that aspect is fun too. There's a lot I like about resident. There's a lot I don't like too. Don't get me wrong. It's not like the greatest ever, but I do enjoy it for those reasons. Thank you very much. Fix it. Um, Appreciate it. That's awesome. What is the story about Daryl Jr.? I'm not sure what you mean by that. The story. Um, I'm not sure what you mean by that. So he lives in neighboring town here, and um, you'll see him once in a while again this summer. If that's what you mean, is he coming back? So he'll be around, I'm sure, once in a while. How much did you have to invest in the building? A lot. I'm yawning. I'm getting tired. Somebody says Taylor is a great addition to the team. Yeah, he's doing really good. Where's the Mac? The Mac is working. It's at the yard right now. Live been going for 110 minutes. I think it's been longer than that. I think it's been almost, yeah, it has. It's been almost 2 hours. You're right. Yes. Somebody says they're glad Eric is back. Daniel was on. When will Daniel be ready to take along on a job? So he'll probably be around this summer. Bring him for a couple jobs. I did not release a new video. Do you release a new video daily? No, I don't. So 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Are you okay with Junior getting your content and doing reels? So Leo asked that. So there's a YouTube channel. It's called like Daryl Jr. or something like that. And the guy's been stealing my content, and he pretends he's Daryl Jr. And then he posts shorts, uses stealing my content. And people think it's actually Daryl Jr. It is not Daryl Jr. It's just some imposter pretending to be Daryl Jr., stealing my videos and posting my content. But I'm not really worried about it. There's been other channels, and all I have to do is contact YouTube, and they will actually delete the channel or delete every video that has me in it. I just haven't got around to deleting that channel yet, but I will. I will. So I've heard that actually more than once. So I'll have that channel removed. So YouTube is really strict about that. You can't steal people's content and repost it. You can do like reaction videos. That's different. There's a line there. But that channel in particular, they're just taking my content and reposting it. Even some of like they'll probably repost this live of me right now. So if you see me on that Daryl Jr. Channel, like just know that it's not Daryl Jr.'s channel. It has nothing to do with him. He wouldn't do that. So, but I will. I just have to fill out a thing, and YouTube's always been really good at just removing those channels. Facebook, not so much. TikTok, not much either. It's harder to get stuff removed on those, but YouTube, it's pretty easy. I think Big Ray gets you mad on purpose. It does seem like that sometimes. If I steal a clip, I usually get 0 views. No, some of those actually get some really good views. So thank you, Blazing Bones. I will report the content thief to the Department of Homeland Security. It's not really that serious, but they don't allow it. So the tandem axle. Somebody asked how the tandem axle. There's another question there. Tandem axle is actually broken, and then somebody else asked, "Do you offer financing for your customers?" I do not. When the job is finished, I want my money. So there's no financing. People can use credit cards. I have a credit card machine right here. So if people want to use a credit card, they can, but I don't do any financing. I mean, if you can't afford your driveway, just don't buy a driveway. That's what I say. So just save up and pay for it all at once. So on my contract, it specifically states that final payment is due on job completion. So once I put that broom on there and say easy money, the next thing I do is I say, you got my money to the customer, and I expect my check And that's the way I've always done it. And I'll never offer financing. I think you could just get yourself into problems because they're having to finance, they don't have the money, and then all of a sudden they're not making the payments or blah blah blah. There's also third party companies, but who wants to go through all that? Did the pond prevent any future development? No, actually, the pond was part of the full development plan. So I have I had four buildings planned for that property. I still do. And when I submitted to the city, I wanted to give them a full and entire finished like master plan, what I had, in best case scenario where I'm able to fully develop the land. There'd be four buildings on it. So the land was designed and engineered for four buildings with parking lots, and that retention pond, the size of that is for the full development. So um, I don't ever have to go back and readjust the retention or anything like that. It's all set. So the pond is part of the plan. So it's not actually preventing any future plans. It is part of future plans. I will not build a bridge over the pond. So there's no bridge over the pond. You can just walk around it. It's not that big. 100% YouTube don't pay. So YouTube pays pretty. YouTube doesn't pay as much as it did. I will say that. I'll give you that little tidbit. So YouTube, the earnings have gone down drastically. Not just like on my channel. It's not me specifically. It's across the board, and I think because the advertising dollars aren't there. So I don't think companies are willing to pay as much for advertising as they were, say, last year. So the revenue from YouTube is way down, but that can be all made up through, sponsored videos and other opportunities and so forth. So it's not great. It's hard to make a lot of money on YouTube, honestly. You have to get pretty sizable. That's why most people end up quitting because they're working hard on it, working hard on it, working hard on it for weeks and months and sometimes even years and seeing minimal payback. And then eventually you start to ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? Why am I putting in all this work? And if you make it, it can be really good, and it's been really good for me, but it's hard to make it. So it takes a lot of work, and you kind of got to get a little lucky. I feel like I got a little lucky myself, honestly. The timing was I just hit it at the right time. Will the CEO be getting a new snowblower for next winter? I would like to. This winter was crazy. It barely snowed all winter. Barely. You guys saw there's hardly any plowing videos. That's because it just didn't snow much. My wife is doing much better. The dartboard I got, you guys will see that soon. I got the dartboard from Quick Trip. Come to Maine with your wife. We are coming to Maine in September. My wife and I will be in Maine in September. It's already scheduled, and we are really looking forward to it. I got an Airbnb already booked. Super fun. Watching one of your new videos at the moment. Thank you very much. Please do. The Ego is trash. The Ego is trash. Ego's a great company. They've made some really good stuff, but their snowblowers are bad. Really, really bad. Did you get your problem taken care of with the folks that keep reporting you to the DNR and the city? No, not really. Still waiting on some information there. It takes the DNR forever with those open records requests, but um, I don't really think it's so much of a problem anymore because what happened is these same people or person, they reported me so many times for so many different things at some point. And the DNR, I've talked to the DNR about this, and I've talked to the city about this. They got sick of these people. They're like, okay, knock it off. The guy's not doing anything wrong. Eventually, they gave me so much. They gave me such a headache over and over and over again. But eventually, they tried to report me so many times. The city and the DNR were like, dude, just stop. Just knock it off. The guy is not doing anything wrong. We've checked him out like 10 times already. He's done nothing wrong. Just stop reporting him. It's getting old. Knock it off. So, it kind of ended itself without me having to intervene because the guy was just being a nuisance, and they finally realized it was just some guy with nothing better to do that doesn't like me because of who knows what reason, doesn't even know me, but the ladybug's back. You guys can't see, but she likes me. So that issue kind of solved itself. Brother couldn't even get the lug nuts off. Blaze, I don't know what you're talking about. We got the lug nuts off. The problem is we needed an impact socket. I didn't realize the chrome sockets took that much energy out of the impact wrench, but they did. So I learned something that day. There she is. Got her. Pal. Making ladybugs famous again. Huh? All right, I really got to go. I'm going to wait 2 hours. I think that's one of my longest lives ever. I can tell because my voice is like. What kind of fuel filters do you use on your diesel equipment? Wex. No, what are they? Wex? I don't remember. I can't remember. I'm sorry. Are you and your wife getting a divorce? Why would you think that? My wife and I have like a super good relationship. We always have. Have you heard of Boehm Madison Plywood? No, I'm sorry. I have not heard of them. Good night. Thanks. Have a good night. Have a good night. So when people start saying that, I know it's time to quit. So thank you guys for watching. Just wanted to hang out with you guys for a while. We're going to do another live soon. I'll bring in, I don't know, maybe I'll bring in Eric. I know everybody wants to talk to Eric, has lots of questions. So maybe Eric and another guy, I'm not sure. But we'll have fun. We'll schedule this. We'll schedule another live soon. All right. It was fun hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much. And look for the video tomorrow, 7 o'clock a.m. Central Time as usual. And I will see you guys on the next one. Adios.